But according to some residents in the area, most of the occupants of the uncompleted building had lived there for over 2 years in an informal arrangement where they paid the security guard 200 naira weekly. They said the man thought to be the owner of the house was there on Wednesday to give them a quit notice.
Early this morning, one of my KK members called me and said, "Am I aware of what is happening, that 9 of our boys have been killed by soldiers in Apo Zone E, legislative quarters?" I said, "What? What happened?" He now told me that the boys were sleeping there because we were homeless, that they work in Apo jurisdiction here.
While there are conflicting accounts of the incident, 9 persons have been confirmed dead, 12 are receiving treatment at the Asokoro District Hospital, while some 28 men are allegedly being questioned by the State Security Service. Omelogo Nadi, Channels Television News.
Troops have been deployed to the border communities and troubled spots in Nasarawa State following the death of 31 persons in last week's violent attack by suspected members of the Ombase militia group. The state governor, Mr. Tanko Almakura, says the measure is to forestall the breakdown of law and order.
Sakio community in Lafia East development area of Nasarawa State following violence by suspected members of the Ombase militia group. Asakio is worst hit by violence, and thousands of internally displaced persons from the community are now taking refuge in Namu, a nearby community in Kwampan local government area of Plateau State. The state government promised to resettle them as soon as possible.
We are also taking stock of the houses that have been destroyed, and government will take it as it's our responsibility to provide logistic and support financially to each and every household that has been affected by this destruction.
Other communities affected are Obi and Tudun Nodobu, both in Obi local government area. The Emir's Palace in Obi community was razed down alongside several houses. The victims narrate their ordeal.
We are informed that the Ombase militant group are coming with arms in a bus. So they came, the police were informed, the security agent and other security operatives were informed. Before they could come, they all ran away into the bush. 2 of them were caught. And because of that, they ambushed the road, the Tudun Adabu, a road through Obi Kiana axis, and they caught 2 of our people. That was how it all started.
When everybody is preparing to go to his normal place of duty, just on sudden we start hearing gunshot all over. We are all confused. Children, all people you are seeing here, nobody took out his property, even a single one.
The state government hopes that the huge presence of security operatives in the state will offer some respite for residents of the affected community.
President Goodluck Jonathan has sacked 2 more of his aides. They are the Special Advisor on National Assembly Matters, Mrs. Joy Modi, and the Special Advisor on the New Partnership for Africa's Development, Dr. Tunji Olagunju. In a press statement signed by the President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Dr. Ruben Abati, President Jonathan appreciated their services and wished them success for the future. Their removal is with immediate effect. Now, there's more to life beyond political appointments and government positions. This was evident in the huge reception organized for the former Minister of State for Defense, Mrs. Olushola Obada, when she returned to her home state of Osun. Leaders and members of the People's Democratic Party in Osun State turned out to receive Mrs. Obada in Ilesha, which started a series of events in her honor. She thanked the President for his giving her the chance to serve in his cabinet and also appreciated top hierarchy of the armed forces during their support during her tenure in the Defense Ministry.
It could well be described as the return of a heroine. After almost 3 years of national service, the former Minister of State for Defense returns to her roots, her hometown in Ilisha, Osun State, to a huge welcome. At the Methodist Church in Ilisha, she arrives accompanied by her spouse to give thanks to the Almighty God for sustaining her through the murky waters of politics and governance.
Let the Lord my soul and forget not all his benefits.
You will ask yourself, why me? Why here? Why now? Many times we suffer not because we did anything wrong.
Mrs. Obada's track record is extolled by people she worked with in government and politics.
We in the National Assembly or in the committee in the Senate, we work with her. Our relationship very cordial, and we are very happy, and we wish her all the best.
The procession of triumph continues through the streets into the warm embrace of the royal father, the paramount ruler of Ijesha land and his subjects. For the man who stood behind a successful woman, was it all worth the effort?
For the first time, we have seen women warplane pilots, women who will fly warplanes in Nigeria. It never happened before.
I give God the glory for using President Jonathan to give me that opportunity to serve my country. It was a pleasure working with the armed forces.
While her political associates celebrate, what does the future hold for her political career?
Once a politician, always a politician.
Yes. The illustrious daughter has come home to be celebrated by her kinsmen. Where next the political wind blows for the Amazon, not even she can tell.
Still ahead on News Track, Royal Dutch Shell shuts down key oil pipeline. Well, that's on Business News. Please join us again.
From one nation to another, there must be a meeting point. Their ideas may be different, but they must work to agree on what's best for the people. Diplomatic Channel untangles the discussions to bring out what's really important. Because it is our world, and it's our right to know how their decisions affect us.
Business News now. Royal Dutch Shell has closed a key oil pipeline barely a week after it opened a facility. The company says leaks from the Trans-Niger pipeline have continued, causing a further shut-in of Bonny Light grade oil. Shell had announced on Monday that the 150,000 barrels per day pipeline has been reopened, prompting speculation that a force majeure may be lifted. Well, it's estimated that up to 100,000 barrels of crude oil were stolen by vandals in the Niger Delta in the first quarter of this year. Strong dollar sales have pushed the Naira to its strongest close in 5 weeks. The local currency closed at 161.17 to the dollar, its best performance since August the 15th, when it closed at 161.15 kobo. While French oil firm Total sold about $91 million to some lenders, while the local unit of Dutch Shell sold an unspecified amount of dollars. The Naira has been under pressure in the past 2 months as offshore investors sell off equities and repatriated their dollars. Meanwhile, interbank lending rates eased to an average of 15% today, softened by cash flows from matured open market operations. 70 billion naira in matured treasury bills hit the system on Thursday, while some lenders were able to rediscount their debt holdings at the central bank, while the central bank repaid a window to obtain cash. The secured open buyback overnight placement and core money closed flat at 15% compared with an average of 44% on Tuesday and 26% a week ago. Crude oil prices edged higher on Friday, but also shed more than 3% after a week of diplomatic progress in